What are your thoughts about what you heard today? Anybody want to start?
Well, I'll kick it off. I think that, first of all, I want to thank the people that put this meeting together. I think it was initially a great idea. I think that what we looked at as being the outcome wasn't the outcome that we were expecting. I think it was a lot of going around the questions and not actually addressing the real problem. We need to understand that we have a problem, that people are being picked up, some that never committed a crime, which is never spoken about. But we need to start putting people in office that represent people that look like us. And until we start working on making that happen, we're always going to have this problem. They dismiss us like we were children because we were asking the right questions. And when you ask the right questions, you're going to get problems.
All right, anybody else?
Yeah, I think it's clear that this program itself, they couldn't really show the benefit for the community. A lot of the questions that we asked, as we said before, were evasive, or they just clearly out said, we're not going to share that information with you, even though they're supposed to be transparent, at least to what they're saying. And we have an opportunity to pressure the sheriff to end this program. And I hope that we had some elected officials here. They understand that they also have that moral responsibility, just like us,
Yes.
to speak out.
It's clear from what we heard today from ICE and the Mecklenburg County Sheriff's Department that they really don't care about us and their own purpose, their own, what they really care about is keeping people in cages and trafficking of human beings. Really, it's a partnership between the county and the feds to lock up as many people as possible, make as much money as possible. That's really their purpose and their intention. And what we know now is because we can't really change their mind, we have to fight back. And that's not just having elected officials, because we can have elected officials that look like us but don't think like us. So what we need is somebody who thinks like us and puts this program to the end, in the ground. It's time for a 287G funeral.
Yes. Anybody else?
I think I was concerned as well that you said the word snow job in there. It felt like that. It's been a long time since I've been talked down to like that, and it's very disappointing because even from a fiscally responsible viewpoint, those people who live in South Charlotte, maybe not from the immigrant community who believe this is a worthwhile program to spend the money on, they only had 4 cases, and they've got these 9 officers they're paying. I guarantee you, if they did a sweep through Myers Park, they would arrest a lot more people than just 4 people. And so I think it is targeted, and it's very disappointing because the community came out here to try to get information, and we were talked down to, as like you said, as if we were children. And it was how can you, and the fact that the sheriff was not here is very disappointing. I'm disappointed in that.
And I think that's some of the takeaways we need to take into consideration, like everybody has said. Carmichael evidently does not believe in its community. His own party here locally does not believe in his vision for Mecklenburg County. It's completely evidently he give a rat's butt what happens to our community. And so I think it's also like I came in with the perspective that this was exactly what's going to happen. They're here to tell us what they want us to hear. They're here to tell us about the beauty of their program because it meets their white supremacy agenda. And it does not resemble what this community is, what the immigrant community built around this community, because Charlotte wouldn't be what it is today without immigrant labor, like being realistic. Right. So Carmichael, like, November's coming up. We'll see if you're there or not, because, buddy, you're not doing too well.
The only other thing that I would want to add is that for me, as someone who's been organizing around police accountability, this is really representative of what the prison industrial complex was intended for, which folks have already said that to incarcerate brown and black people. So it's gonna be, or like we need to do more organizing than just like hoping that he doesn't get elected again, right? Like we have to actually talk to our communities about how police and ICE work together, about how we can't rely on them to keep us safe, and then ultimately what we're gonna do about it, which I hope is organized and stop calling the police.
Something that was emphasized today, that they wanted serious questions. To me, that was very questionable. We're here for transparency and for a dialogue. So we're here, as what they say, for transparency and dialogue. And once we start asking questions, and I quote, they want some serious questions. I don't know what oppression, anything that has to do with our families being affected, real lives here in Charlotte, great people that work hard, contribute. How is that not serious? Anytime that we step over the border a little bit to ask a personal question, it's not a serious question. We're in America, we've been through this many times, and we stick together, but this is very serious. That's a serious question. Our families, my families, friends, and everybody here in Charlotte. It's a serious question, so I wish they would take us more serious, because we're serious, we expect them to be serious, and have transparency dialogue, as they say. Yeah.
I feel like following up on what he said, there was that the police officer himself coming out and telling us that it needed to be serious questions from both ends. This is serious questions that we were asking because our families are being separated every year because of this. It is a lie that they're not targeting us. They're profiling us because of how we look, and it is so ironic to me that they can say that we are not taking this seriously, because this is what we fear every day. Every day we go out, and every day we are so frightened about the fact that the police is going to pull us over, that this is going to be our last day here. I am undocumented, and every day I am scared that I'm going to be pulled over because I'm going to be profiled because I look like an immigrant, and I am an immigrant, and this needs to stop now.
I would just add that today is the indication of how Charlotte and Mecklenburg deals with public opinion. So we have this strange thing going on here where even at a public forum and in a Q&A session, we're told what we can say and what we can't say. We're told what we can share and what we can't share. And that is only an indication of what happens here in Charlotte. There is repression and there is targeting when you do speak up. And this was the indication that's really bothered me, not just because of the talking down, but the filtering of what is allowed to be said and what is not allowed to be said at the one time a year that ICE is supposed to be listening to what our questions are. And there's a lot of baggage with that, because that is what happens here in Charlotte and Mecklenburg. What is freedom of speech if you can't express or get clarification or the meeting's over? That was wrong. And we need to have a second meeting, and we need to bring it to our turf. They need to come meet us in our homes and not here in the police department.
So they did say, this program was a success. They didn't have the numbers. They told us not to get emotional, to take our feelings out of it. But I want to remind everyone, including our sheriff, that we are human. What about the human part of this? I actually went down to the worst detention center we have, Stewart Detention Center in Georgia, and the capacity is about 1,792 inmates. There's over 1,900 placed there right now. Only 6% have legal representation. These are the numbers that they don't want to hear. There's 3 legal visiting rooms. No one can be seen. No one's getting help. Once they're taken, when do they become human and when do they become animals? Right? So I just want to let them know there is no success when the people are hungry in these detention centers, these prisons. The industrial complex is here and happening. And just because you don't have citizenship or the legal, proper, completed paperwork does not mean you're less human. So I just want to remind them, where can you take the feeling out of this? Because obviously they don't have a heart. New sheriff, next election, the immigrant community will be showing up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so we got a petition out, and this petition actually targets the sheriff, it targets the county, targets our city council. Don't let the city council say that they can't do anything about it, because they can. It targets the mayor, targets CMPD. So the petition will be in this link, hopefully, like YouTube right here. So sign it, please share it. But this is, one of the first steps we're going to be doing to more. We need more signatures. We need them to know that a lot of people could not make it today. And if you can't make it because you work, you got things to do, you're in school, whatever, you can sign the petition and still have a voice.
I got one question. What are some organizations people can join to get support and to help support?
Students for Education Reform, Colectiva, Charlotte Uprising, and of course, Southeast Asian Coalition.
And Alerta Migratoria.
Yeah.
Pass.